Hello my soccer universe, to a review of a really entertaining Nations League evening, and although not everything went my way, especially the two games that I was focusing on, I was very happy that I could follow a total of 6 games. Austria on the main screen, Italy, Germany on the secondary one, and can I just mention 2 favorite facts about this Italy-Germany matchup? And no, it's not the result, but that the games are played in Milan and Dortmund, 2 of the most iconic arenas on the entire continent, and B, this great Germany anniversary jersey. Yes, I'm getting a little bit tired of anniversary jerseys, but this is how Germany should look like, except for the socks. White socks, not black socks. Black socks is the old Austrian style. But yes, it was a really entertaining evening. Did not go my way. Austria wasted too many chances. Italy also wasted chances and imploded on set pieces. But we had a really entertaining game in Rotterdam. We had another upset in the quarterfinals. In Copenhagen, the relegation playoffs had also quite some interesting results. I mean, Turkey really romping over Hungary. Ireland getting a away win. Georgia continued their great form. Plus the surprise result, Ukraine against Belgium. So plenty to talk about. Let's recap all the games, starting in the relegation between B and C, then go A, B, and then we go to the quarterfinals before we put it all into perspective. Georgia continued their good form and make short shrift of their neighbors Armenia, winning 3-0 at Yerevan. What I found curious, that all 3 goals were either scored on transition or on the counter, which is a little bit counterintuitive if you would like. The first one, to Kokharashvili, is he intercepts himself the ball close to midfield, runs through it over to Kitashvili, who returns it immediately. 33rd minute, it's 1-0 for Georgia, and then a deep ball by Mamadashvili finds Mikodadze, who is put on side by a defender on the Armenian left side of the defense, and so Mikodadze runs on the left side of his attack, so the other side over there, kind of a little bit complicated, runs into the box and seemingly looks for options in the box, but also sees the goalie a little bit outside, puts it from a very impossible angle in. 2-0 at the half. And then the last goal was also a counter, Kakvedadze finding in the end Mikodadze again, who slots it home for his second goal. 59th minute. Georgia with a very comfortable win, and now there will be a raucous crowd, of course, in Tbilisi as well. With a nice attacking move, Bulgaria take the lead through Petkov already in the 6th minute and had actually a good chance to double that lead. However, Ireland got better in the game, got the equalizer with a nice cross from the left side over to the right of the box, where Parrott just lays it off to Azaz, who equalizes in the 21st, and then Ireland were on top and get the winning goal through Doherty in the 42nd minute, when the Bulgarian goalie comes out after deep ball by Cullen, completely mistimes it, and Doherty heads it into the net. Franco Foda's Kosovo were well on target in the 2-1 home win over Iceland in an overall even game where I would probably give the slight advantage to the Kosovo. The opener came in the 19th minute with a lower from the edge of the box, just right hitting it where the goalie cannot reach it. However, Oskarsson in the 22nd already equalized for Iceland. But towards the end of the first half and early in the second half, it was more or less the Kosovo who had the pressure, and Recpejai, again from the edge of the box by the inside of the post, gets the job done for Kosovo. There was another great chance for the Kosovo to even double their lead. There was a goal disallowed. However, Iceland also had 2 or 3 really good chances in an overall lively affair. Slovakia may have had the majority of the game in their home game against Slovenia. However, Slovenia held tight and it ends in a 0-0 draw. Very notable, of course, has to be a great save by Jan Oblak, probably the most high-profile player on the entire field, who made a miraculous save. In the end, it's still all to play for in the return leg in Slovenia. With a great second half performance over Hungary, Turkey give themselves a really good chance of a first appearance in Nations League Group A. And that came after a relatively even first half. Kökçü with a very precise strike gave Turkey already the lead in the 9th minute. However, Schäfer then intercepts midway through the first half, and Hungary played them very patiently via Szoboszlai, Bola, Varga back to Schäfer, and he converts to make it 1-1. And I would argue that result was fine. However, in the second half, Turkey much better, and it was Aktürkoğlu who first gave Turkey the lead and then just 4 minutes later assists Kahveci for Turkey's 3rd goal. In that form, Turkey go to League A. On the other side, it remains all to play for between Austria and Serbia, and it really need not be. Austria missed plenty of chances and could have gotten with a significant lead back to Belgrade. However, it was mostly Marko Arnautovic who was off target, and of course he is of Serbian heritage. He missed already in the first half, then there was also a great cross that Baumgartner could not place the header rightly. Austria took the deserved lead after a deep ball by Alaba is headed back by Arnautovic, probably his best action of the entire game, and Gregoric from far out places it dryly into the left corner, and was really well deserved that lead. In the second half, again, Arnautovic, great shot, just cannot get it on target. Austria missing chances, and like in the game against Slovenia towards the end of last year, they concede an equalizer when Samacic is left alone at the edge of the box, and he can pick his corner and really beautifully converts another absolutely stunning goal. Then I have to say I was surprised about some of the changes by Coach Rangnick. He brought on, for instance, Mohamed Sham, but Sham showed that he might actually be very fit for this team. Great cross in, and Arnautovic, if he can head it cleanly and not head and shoulder and on goal, Austria might have well taken the lead going back to Belgrade. This should have been probably a 2-1, 2-0, 3-1. Not a 1-1, but Austria cannot convert their chances and leave themselves vulnerable in the return leg. A McTominay penalty gives Scotland a 1-0 win in Athens against Greece, and of course the upper hand in their relegation tie. Greece may have had more chances, even hit the post in the second half, but were overall off target, and so Scotland see it out, go with the advantage to Glasgow. And it was one of the surprises of the evening. Ukraine beating Belgium 3-1 after being deservedly 1-0 down at the halftime break after De Bruyne free kick is headed home by Lukaku. It really seemed like only a matter of time until Belgium take the lead. However, in the second half, I don't know what happened with Belgium. They were really not on the field, and Zinchenko already hit the post with a free kick, and then it's the substitutes. Gutsuliak is intercepting a Belgian defender and runs through on goal, gets the equalizer in the 66th minute. In the 73rd, another substitute after Ziganko cross, Vanat taps it home. And in the 78th minute, Zabarny, after Zinchenko cross, more or less on the goal line, gets the third goal. And so the duel of the Real Madrid goalkeepers goes to Lunin's Ukraine. Whereas major questions have to be asked of Belgium. This seems to be a squad that is just not gelling at all anymore. It was probably the upset in the quarterfinals. Croatia beating France 2-0 in Split, and fully deservedly so, despite France having more of the game, probably even having more chances. However, there was only really one good save by Livakovic in there. The rest was all shot onto him and was easy saves for him. And it could have been even worse, because already early on in the 5th minute, Konate gives away a penalty by handling the ball, and then Kramaric takes the penalty in one of the worst ways I've ever seen. You know, a Panenka that doesn't even make it across the goal line, and so it was an easy save for Mike Maignan. Mike Maignan also made the save on the 1-0. I mean, it was a Perisic cross in that Budimir heads onto his chest. However, the ball then curls so much that it falls into net, and Budimir gives Croatia the lead. And then just before the halftime, a Baturino shot is blocked. It goes to Perisic, who puts a whole lot of speed on it and gives Croatia the 2-0 advantage. Second half, I mean, the one shot by Mbappé, there was maybe a good chance by Dembélé in there, but overall this was a very flat performance by France. Croatia looking really good for another semi-final in the Nations League. We also had another upset in Copenhagen where Denmark beat Portugal 1-0. This should have been more. It was an absolute nothing performance by Portugal. There was Bireth having 2 good chances, former Sturm Graz striker, of course. I think the best one after a kick out from the goalie got intercepted and the ball just goes past the post as they were dashing towards the goal line. The biggest chance, of course, came to Eriksen, who had a penalty saved. He also had a shot saved on the line. Denmark could have led by 2, if not 3 goals at the half-time break. Denmark getting the winning goal in the 78th minute when Højlund, another former Sturm Graz striker, is nicely served by Skov Olsen and taps it home in the 78th minute. Then trolling Ronaldo with a celebration, potentially. I'm not sure about that. However, more than deserved. Portugal really looking flat. Germany get a notable 2-1 away win in Milan against Italy. However, it is set pieces that really let Italy down, because Italy were on the field, the better team actually played quite some nice stuff, created chances, but set pieces decided for Germany. And crosses and a little bit defensive frailty. Very un-Italian, the whole thing. And Italy started out so well, taking the lead through Tonali after a really nice team move. Bastoni with a wide ball across the field to Barella, plays it onto Raspadori, whose shot is then deflected by Tar towards Tonali, who makes it 1-0 already 8th minute. And Italy had an even more of the game. As I said, Tonali potentially could have even made it 2, but it was saved by Baumann. However, then Kleindienst comes on at halftime, and a Kimmich cross is headed in by Kleindienst because Bastoni and Di Lorenzo do not know who should take Kleindienst, and it's an absolute shit show on the back. Raspadori, however, should have re-established the lead. Very weak shot, easy save for Baumann, and then it's a corner kick by Kimmich again, and Goretzka heads it in from a short distance. It's just galling. Italy still had plenty of chances to get the equalizer, probably would have deserved an equalizer, did not manage it. Now they have to win in Dortmund to make it to the semifinals, or will it be Germany for the first time? But I would argue the best game of the entire evening happened in Rotterdam. Netherlands 2, Spain 2. It started badly for the Dutch, it ended badly for the Dutch, but what was shown in between said that the Dutch are actually almost level with Spain, and yes, players missing left and right on both sides. Spain took the lead in the 9th minute when Lamine Yamal takes a ball of Hato, who plays it immediately to Pedri, who finds the Nico Williams, taps it home. 9th minute, Spain take the lead, but the Dutch got better and better in the game. Ronald Koeman's team really working well, and in the end it's clever to then assist Gakpo in the 28th minute to get the equalizer. Tijani Reinders with a nice shot also hits the upside of the crossbar. He makes it better right after the half. After a nice Frimpong assist, he takes a shot as he's wont to do from the edge of the box, and it's 2-1 for the Dutch, who really seemed like they're gonna see this one out. However, it's a rash Hato challenge on Lenormand that sees him sent off, and despite all the defensive skills that the Dutch put on display, yeah, it's not a very Dutch thing. The Dutch get the equalizer. Nico Williams' shot is only parried, and then Merino taps it home for the 2-2 draw. All to play for a return leg in Valencia. Actually looking really forward to that one. This is the game to watch, I would argue. Okay, let's look at the chances. B and C, we have Kosovo having slight advantage over Iceland. Of course, Ireland, huge advantage over Bulgaria. You would think in Dublin they will see this out. Georgia, more or less already through. And Slovenia also having the second leg at home after the draw, holding the advantage. In League B, Turkey, huge advantage. Same thing goes with Ukraine, with those big home wins. And you know, for Ukraine, it was a home win in Murcia, which is even more incredible. They should be considered favorites. Scotland also will take an advantage home to Glasgow. So I would think they will see this out, although this Greece side is a dangerous one. So the only game that has really something riding on it is Austria against Serbia. If Austria just can get their chances done, then I think this should be Austria going through, but Serbia in Belgrade, always a steep hill to climb. As for the quarterfinals, it seems like Germany will host the Final Four, so Germany actually might for once really do well in the Nations League. Denmark go with the advantage to Portugal. However, yeah, I mean, you think that at home Portugal will perform better. I think the meeting in Valencia between Spain and the Netherlands is the one to watch. And then we have to see if France can turn it around against Croatia. Not quite sure about that one. So I think we will have at least one, if not two, surprise semifinalists. The return legs are all played on Sunday, and they're all nicely staggered. I mean, Georgia hosts Armenia already at 3 o'clock on Sunday, then Iceland, Kosovo, and Slovenia against Slovakia at 6 o'clock, whereas Ireland take on Bulgaria at 8:45. In the AB playoffs, we also have 3 earlier kickoffs, which is very much to my advantage, I have to say. Hungary take on Turkey at 6 o'clock, as to Scotland and against Greece, and Serbia against Austria, which will be my focus. And then Belgium against Ukraine is the late kickoff, which means that in the late slot I will definitely focus more on the quarterfinals, which are all played at 8:45. Again, going in my favor, but this time I will definitely put an emphasis on Spain against Netherlands. They played great stuff, so that was really a fun match to watch. So this was just my thoughts on these playoff matches, the first legs. Let me know who you think will go through, who will get relegated, promoted, and who will make it to the semi-finals. Is the turnaround for Italy? They did not play that badly, I'm not so sure. Not sure about Austria either, but I'm mostly looking at, can the Dutch really upset Spain? Same thing for Denmark. Yeah, let's see about that. Drop a line below, give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos like these, and I will talk to you soon about more things in my soccer universe. Bye! Hey there! I really hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, here are some videos and playlists that you may enjoy too. Also, please consider subscribing to my channel and hit the little bell icon so you get notified whenever something happens in my soccer universe. And with that, have a wonderful day. Bye!